Sex and sexuality surround us all. It's an urgent drive never far from us. It permeates all elements of our culture. And it means different things to all of us.
If you say sexuality, it means experiment. You're doing an experiment with your partners or whatever.
It's probably a term used more by gay people in terms of defining their identity.
Sexuality is a massive part of what makes up your personality and who you are, really. It's not everything, but it's still a great part of your personality.
Sexuality is with you really all the time. To me, I think it's the most important drive that I've ever experienced.
For most people, their self-esteem and their well-being is often very closely tied up with having relationships, feeling that others care about them, feeling that others want them, desire them, can love them.
The need for sex and an intimate relationship is important to all of us, and it continues to be important whether you have a mental health problem or not. The fact that you are considered a mental health service user doesn't mean your desire to be loved and be intimate with another human being somehow disappears.
Not having a relationship, I think, if you want it, can be like that constant feeling of being hungry and not being fed.
Yet frequently people with mental health problems are denied access to the healing power of sex and relationships because of the symptoms of their illness, the medication they take to control these symptoms, and sometimes even the services they access.
I don't think mental health services acknowledges how important it is. The therapeutic effects of having another human being who you can even just hug, or who you feel loves you, and how important those things are to an individual's feeling of mental well-being.
Being denied access to that kind of fulfillment can it can cause a big void in a person, because I think you can get trapped in yourself too much. You can get trapped in your own head and kind of think, oh God, here's another thing I can't do. You know, I'm useless at relationships as well.
Sexuality should be taken very seriously, I think, by psychiatric services, because if you were to help someone, I think the right word is holistically, help the whole person, what you're doing is, if you leave out the sexuality part, you're leaving out which could be the most important thing to them. It hasn't been dealt with.
We talk very often in mental health about holistic or comprehensive needs assessment. And I don't remember ever seeing in any of those assessment schedules an area that talks about sex and relationships. Leisure activities is usually mentioned, but not sex as part of leisure activity or part of basic human needs.
Most serious mental health problems make it more difficult to form relationships, and many of them do impede on people's ability to make relationships, to make sexual relationships, and on their ability to feel, if you like, lovable and worthy of relationships as well.
When you suffer from a severe psychiatric disorder, the last thing on your mind